Here with David Southwick, MP. Thank you very much.
Great to be with you, Raf.
Great to be with you. And talking about that DJ point, I think that's a very interesting topic that people don't often get to hear about when it comes to the journey of how you actually become an MP from whatever side of business you came from. So tell us a little bit of that story.
Yeah, interesting you say that because somebody referred to me today at a community event as Disco Dave. So I was probably the party starter back in the day for many bar mitzvahs, weddings, 21st, and that funded me through school. So at the age of 17, I was doing all of my friends' 18th birthdays, and from there I went on to an events business, and we started doing some big corporate events. I then went on to a cosmetics company, and we gave 10% of our profits to helping youth, long-term unemployed. And I found myself running business, making money, trying to help people. And so it was the cause of helping others rather than actually just running the businesses. And somebody said to me one day, well, maybe you should just go into politics where you can help a whole lot more people. And there was that coupled with the fact that my father was a local councillor. So he was a local government. And so I used to go as a kid to a lot of his school openings and community centre openings. And so I was around it and got the bug and thought, yeah, that one day I'd like to get involved in politics. That's always been a bit of passion of mine, but interesting in that a lot of people in the area where I represent. So I've grown up in Caulfield, a very Jewish area. I spent a lot of my life either going to a Jewish school, but at the other half, doing a lot of stuff in a very non-Jewish area in the western suburbs of Melbourne, the working class of Melbourne, because my dad had his business out there, and that's where he was a local councillor. But then when I went into DJing, that was very much around the area that I live and now represent. And so a lot of the people initially didn't know about the rest of my story. So they still knew me really as Disco Dave, and they thought, what an great story of somebody who's gone from being a DJ to being a politician. So they've kind of left out the middle.
You look at politics today, a lot more people than ever are getting into politics through getting a legal degree, being lawyers, and then coming into politics. Having a business career and then also working within an organisation where you're helping others, what sort of difference do you think that brings to the table, and how much do you think that that's important that people still continuously do that from the business sphere?
I think no matter whatever you represent in terms of politics, whatever country, whatever tier of politics, you need to be representative of the people. And so what I love about our parliament, if you like, we've got 88 seats, 50,000 people in each area, and they're all very, very different. None two are the same, and they've all got their own challenges. And I think that is also should be reflective of the MPs that they represent as well. And you don't want a whole bunch of lawyers or doctors or just people that work in politics. You want people that represent the people. So, and I almost feel as though anyone, before they do anything in terms of politics, need real world experience. There should almost be a prerequisite that you've got 3 or 4 years minimum of actually doing something other than politics. So you know what it's like. You know what it's like to pay a bill, paying off credit cards, dealing with debt, all the things that cost of living, all the things that people deal with every day. So I think that's been beneficial to me because I know what it's like to run businesses in good and bad times, and I know what it's like to employ staff. And so I've got, I think, a pretty good take on people from all walks of life. And so therefore when I'm making policy, I'm thinking about people first and foremost.
Having served in the parliament now for over a decade, you would have seen a lot of policy be formed and proposed a lot of policy.
Yeah.
How much of an advantage is it to have people like yourself who come from the business world, but also to have that balance of power of working class people, also bricklayers, or even may we say the word union people?
No, look, it's got to have everyone.
Yeah,
it's absolutely, we should have everyone involved and represent. I think that's so important. But I think also we must not lose sight of we should never be seen as the experts. So I remember when I was first made an assistant minister for police in my first term of government, and I got the phone call from the Premier saying, hey, we're going to promote you. I know you probably think you're going to get something in the business portfolio, but you're going to be the assistant minister for police. And I thought that was really unusual at that point because I had no experience. But he said to me something that sticks with me clear today is we don't want you to be thinking as a police officer. We want you to think as more strategically about what you will do to help policing more generally. And so it's the approach of managing or running an operation to give the resources and the skills and the strategy around whatever the portfolio and the expertise is. So I've always approached things like that. But I think coming back to the point of you want to be able to have different people from different walks of life that are in the mix and representative of the people that makes a truly good parliament. And I think opposition is always really good in terms of being able to have a credible opposition. And I've always felt, and this is really interesting, I suppose, because most of my political life has been in opposition, but I'm pretty true to this because I've been involved in entrepreneurship and startups where you're starting from nothing. I think the biggest amount of policy change is made from opposition, not from government. When you're in government, you're implementing the ideas that you bought from opposition. And in opposition, you don't have the bureaucracy around you. You're like a startup. You're talking to stakeholders, real people about real problems. You're coming up with the ideas, and then finally we've got an election in November, as you know. So when we win, then we get the chance to be able to implement the ideas that I've spoken, not to bureaucrats, but real people with real problems.